back, Matt. We are like Michael Myers in the Halloween series of movies.
We are back. They couldn't get rid of us.
We're that guy who's down and out, and then we sit right back up out of nowhere. It is the Football 360 show, back at you live on YouTube and X, as well as going to be on Spotify and Apple Music, right?
Yep. We're
Yep.
on YouTube Live and X Live, and then it'll go on Spotify and Apple, all that stuff.
Right. I am JP Rock. He is Matt Bierman. Great to be with you. Going to bring you all kinds of good information. Gonna do it live. A little explanation of what happened. We've been gone a few weeks. We just didn't know. Our lovely palatial studio that we were at. Actually, me and Matt are lazy. We just didn't want to do it. Right.
Yeah. We just got tired of driving.
We just got tired of driving. But the palatial studio that we were doing the Football 360 show from decided they didn't want to be a studio anymore. And so we had to find a home. And after going through all the wonderful options that we had, we finally found one that we love because it's us.
Yeah, it's us doing it, and we're figuring it out. And so, if there's any issues, obviously, let us know in the chat so that way we can see. But I think at the end of the day, this is gonna be a good setup. Be easier for you and I to get to work, right?
Oh, much easier. And yeah, we're in
Much easier.
our studio offices. So it's very good. A lot of stuff going on. You can reach me at JP Rock MO on X, JP Rock Scout U, the letter U, as well as gpsfootball.org. Matt, where can people reach you on your socials
Yeah, Elite Football on X and Elite Football Academy on Instagram.
and getoffered.com?
Getoffered.com. And
Yep.
then, yeah, we're not as fancy, but we got the ability to scroll some stuff. We not have the ability, but that's
We're
also
learning.
the website.
Oh, look at
We have
that.
our Football 360 show on X, and then on web, football360show.com.
Yep, and of course, every kind of major platform you could think of. So a lot of stuff happening. We're right in the thick of things. The Elite Combine happened. We can talk about that. The UA Next camp came to town. That was interesting, and spring football as well. In the thick of spring football, some teams start earlier, some start a little bit later. Mizzou has its quarterback. Not a surprise. The last show that we did, we talked a little bit about the quarterback situation, and we talked about how Austin Simmons was playing faster, right, more athletic, played with a better sense of urgency. Zollers is there. Technically, we discussed. I think he's probably more sounder, right, better technical quarterback technician, but Coach Drink and his staff, they like the athlete. They like the guy that can run it and chuck it.
Yeah, and I think also, you get a guy coming in with a big name,
Yep.
who's,
Big
he's
money.
a guy that, they paid a lot of money to get him there. And now all of a sudden he's the guy. So I think at the end of the day, Mizzou's in a good spot. I mean, they're in a better spot than they were last year after game one when they only had one quarterback on the really. I mean,
Correct.
well, they had two guys get hurt, right? And then, they had two quarterbacks going into week two. And then, by week five, they had one. And then they had to play a walk on it the last game of the year when Zollers went down.
Yeah. And so it is a much better situation. They have multiple quarterbacks. They have another transfer who came from UConn as well, and they like their freshman quarterbacks as well that they have there. So, and then of course next year they have that quarterback committed from Nebraska, who's pretty good. Who you and I had a chance to see at Mizzou camp in the summertime.
I saw him at the junior day. We went down to the junior day. He was there. He had just done his official. He's already committed, but had his official visit. So it was pretty cool to see.
Right. And so give me your thoughts on what you got to see down there at the junior day.
Well, a couple things. I mean, they were like a week or two into practice. So obviously people are still trying to figure out like what's what, who's who.
Right.
This day and age, you get so much of the you're trying to get your team to come together, right? Like at the end of the day, like how do you get, all these people to come together and gel as a team? And truthfully, like it's hard, right? And so like they did not look as smooth as they probably wanted to, but realistically where they were at in the process of things, they looked really good. But it was good to see. There was not it was not a huge junior day. I mean, I'd guess 30 kids there, 40 kids max.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the basketball game, which was pretty cool. Get to see Mizzou play at Arkansas. Mizzou lost in overtime in that game. Was pretty rough finish, but good. I like the new coaching staff. I mean, like the guys that they added, right? Like it's just like the transfer portal. You have new coaches coming in. You got new players coming in. I mean, you got a new OC.
Yeah, you said some
coach.
you said some nice stuff about Chip Lindsey, Coach Lindsey.
I really liked him. You know, he seems there's all connections to Drinkwitz. Obviously, when they were at Auburn together, so you have him, that whole crew of guys, and then you know, like the Gus Malzahn guys, if you will.
Right.
But yeah, there's I think the system, like obviously they have two really good running backs coming back, so that's going to be interesting to see how that ends up. You know, working itself out. Like from a passing game perspective, are they just going to hammer the ball all year? They threw the ball a lot in practice, but again, there's only so much running you're going to do in the spring when you're trying to get your passing game together. But they pushed the ball vertical. I was excited to see that. I thought that was really good to see.
Right. Yeah, it's really good, especially when you got a son who's a quarterback that they want to have up there for junior day.
Yeah. It was fun to see all the passing going on. But you know, it's one of those things, JP. You're there at those events, and the margin is so small between the different players that are there, right?
Yes.
Like, and you realize there's guys that come in that don't work out. There's guys that get there that you never think are going to work out that work out, and all the players look fairly similar. No one doesn't look like they belong.
Yeah,
it's just a matter of, is your timing right, and does the system fit you right? And I think with the quarterbacks too, like I think the toughest thing is like how do you navigate as a parent or as a player? Like if you're that Braden Warren that's there, you're super excited. You just
super excited. Just lost Matt. There we go.
I'm back. Oh, change sides.
Yeah, and you're the producer too, man.
Yeah, there we go, man. Yeah, and that was hey. So yeah, we're not really sure if that goes down, how do we fix it? But yeah, I do think it is interesting to see how like that how it rotates those kids. Like you got a brand new kid coming in class 27 next year. He'll be there next winter this time. Yeah. And then you have Gavin Sidwar, who is there, who's brand new to the team, right? And then he's in there rotating, but he's got two guys that are getting paid a lot of money to be there. Right. And so I just think it's gonna be interesting to see how 3 years from now, is Gavin Sidwar and Braylon Warren both there? Probably not, right? No, one of the two, if not, or maybe both of them aren't there, you know? But overall, like I liked Garrett Riley, who's the quarterback coach who came from Clemson. I really liked him. Coach Brendan Bognar's there, who's a former elite guy. Yep. He's living a dream, being at being there at the the home state school where he grew up. But there is a touch of like all these guys were offensively Gus Malzahn guys. So and Brendan spent a lot of time under him at UCF and then at Florida State. So there's a natural connection. Chip Lindsey, I think, was with them. Obviously, Drinkwitz was with them. Right. So, but it's good.
And that is really good. That's great for continuity, right? So you're not bringing in guys from different systems who are having to try to figure out what's up. They understand the language. They understand everything that they're trying to do. And so that's perfect. It all gels much easier. And you talked about, everything where they're trying to get everybody on board. Man, you got brand new teams on pretty much every college team now, right? And it's really got to be hard for fans, right? Because everybody's transient now, and so it's like it's not the team that you had last year, and it's just going to be like that every year.
Well, yeah, and then I should have had it pulled up. I don't know how to pull it up on here, but like we'll get better at doing these things. But the big hub this week was the SEMO clip. I'm sure you saw in practice, right?
What do you call that? It would look like some kind of weird variation of the Oklahoma drill.
Yeah, it was like a hamburger or something. Here's the thing. So in the interview, and I think that interview was like totally separate from like that thing going viral.
Yeah.
Coach Tuke was basically talking about how you got these, all these new kids, like 50 new kids on the team, which is half of your team.
Yeah.
You only get so many practices in the spring. and I think to his point, what he was trying to articulate was, we're trying to build an identity and kind of introduce guys. Now on the flip side, the reaction was not great, because I think there's a lot of people that were not happy, because it's like, hey, this is how people get hurt, right? And so football is a contact sport. I mean, they did.
Right.
I mean, I think what was weird is the one that everybody picked. Oop, JP's out. Hold on here. So
there we go. I like that. I like this better. I like this.
We're just back and forth.
Yeah.
So, but you have these guys getting hit in that drill. The one that everybody picked was obviously the worst of all of them.
Correct.
The other ones that I saw were not as bad, right? They were not nearly as bad. So, but it is a contact sport. I get it. I understand it. Not fun watching these guys get hit.
I think it was a bit of an overreaction, to be honest with you. I mean, you're right, and I'm sure you probably went through some stuff where they're trying to make men, and trying to, like you said, establish a culture and create an identity, and just trying to have your team be physical. And I get it. I think a lot of the reaction was probably because it's a slow period, and so it gave everybody something to talk about. And social media is everybody's wanting to talk about something. Everybody's got their opinion that they want to give. And so, I mean, when you have every doofus that has social media going to get on there and show the clip and make an opinion, it's going to become viral.
Oh, 100%. It's going to become viral, right? It's just one of those things where, like it was tough to watch, right? Because it's like, oh man, that guy could have got hurt, but he didn't get hurt.
Right.
So it is what it is. But yeah, there was a lot of reaction, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
A lot of reaction. So,
especially from people who don't know football, really want to push that home. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of people were not happy about that,
No.
right? But to your point, slow week of football,
Yep.
everybody's in there, and now all of a sudden it's like everybody's mad that this happened, and it's like, no, I mean, truth be told, like it's football, right? Like yes, I mean, like that's how he decides to run his practices.
Yep.
The players were hyped up.
Yeah.
It wasn't like players were angry about the drill, right?
Right.
I mean,
exactly.
They were the team was going crazy. I mean, I don't know if I would like to have been that running back or the ball carrier.
Right.
The only thing I didn't like was two guys low on him, but they're trying to get him to go down, right?
Right.
And truthfully,
well, it looked like somebody almost did a flip.
Oh yeah,
like in midair. It's like, what do you down that? Don't leave your feet. You know what I mean?
Right. And I think the problem is too. I think the one thing I kept hearing from people is like, hey, you're not going to see that in like you're not going to see that scenario with three guys converging on one very often.
Right. Right. And in football, you got to learn to protect yourself. Right. Mm-hmm. So if this was just some guy off the street, that they did this to, that would be bad. But this is, like you said, this is football. When we were kids, we played similar games, right?
Yeah.
With no padding. Yeah, a game you can't say anymore. You can't say the name of. Right.
Yeah, we're going to talk about getting banned, right?
Exactly. And we played similar games like that with no padding, just running around, in our yards. So, yeah, I think it was overreaction, slow time. I hate to see people trying to pile on people for when they don't have any knowledge.
People are calling for his job too.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Yeah.
Like, I don't come on, right? Really? Are we going to the guy, that's how he's running his program. But you and I both know, like, that's how the world works now. Like, you're on the hot seat. Everything you do almost has to be thought through to a certain level of like, oh my gosh, is this going to cost me?
Yeah.
And if it does, great. If not, I guess he'll just live to fight another day. But most football coaches are resilient. I'm sure he's gonna move on and be done.
Yeah. I actually saw more people who were probably media related trying to, making complaints or critiquing it more. I saw a lot of support from football coaches, for the very things that you said. Hey, he knows what he's doing. It's his program.
Yeah, it's his job. It's what he does. It's his livelihood. And again, I think that's not a drill you want to do every day of the week.
No,
I mean, a lot of it's probably out of context too. Like, how many times have they done that drill in the spring? Probably one time. and the media happened to be there filming it right at the same
Yeah.
time. So, that would not be a drill that I would choose to let my social media group put out there.
Right.
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 I think
So
I think programs around the country are like, hey, let's get away from that. Let's not do that.
correct. And the Oklahoma drill that was popularized for a while. That's okay. I don't have a real problem with that. I've covered college teams. I remember covering Mizzou one year and their practices, and they went the opposite route. Right? They did not have any physicality. They wanted to avoid contact, right, for the fear of injury. And I believe
Yep.
it was one of Gary Pinkel's last years. And guess what? Season came around. What do you think happened on the field trying to avoid
Injuries,
physicality?
injuries, man.
Well, injuries, just the other teams really kind of beat them up,
Right, right.
'cause
Oh yeah, you're right. There's a happy medium. Like how much do we hit in practice? How much do we preserve? Right, but there's a level of aggression that is built into the game that is just not necessarily. It's something that needs to be fine tuned. It'd be like sending a group of warriors into fight in a war, and having them just practice Tai Chi
right.
for weeks. Right,
And
like
in
no, you
football,
gotta
you got to feel it, right?
yeah
You've got to get used to that physicality,
yeah. It's a
I mean,
mindset.
it
You've
is.
got to build your body into it as well.
Correct. Physicality overcomes fear. So if you're not being physical in practice, come game time, it's going to be a bit of a shock, you know?
Mhm.
It's going to be a surprise shock. It's going to take you a little while to get used to it. And by that time, are you going to get used to it? So I've seen it both ways. I've seen it where guys, can be a little bit rambunctious, call some guys out on their, being a man and stuff like that. That's the wrong way to go too.
Oh,
But
yeah.
you also don't want to be like, no, man, we're not gonna pop pads until game one. That's the
Right.
wrong way to go too.
That's a bad idea. I think it's a
Yeah.
really bad idea. So, yeah, but but every coach has their own way of how they're doing it,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Everybody has their own way how to do it.
Yeah.
So,
Not big on calling that out, but Mizzou, doing their thing. Missouri State doing their thing. SEMO has their spring. Now, are you going to be going to any other spring practices that you know?
no, I think, like this weekend, we're going for 7-on-7 over in Indiana.
Hmm.
That's Easter weekend. So we were going to try and see Purdue, but we ended up not getting it worked out. And
Yeah.
then, we were down in Springfield. Missouri State was on spring break, which was tough.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
Yeah.
and then it starts getting into like, hey, we're at summer camp time here. You got to start planning your summer camps before you know it. Like those are all starting to roll out. It's
Yes.
go time. It's go time.
It really is, and in fact, it's man. I'm telling you what, this year seems like it is accelerating at a very high speed. I mean, we were gone for a few weeks. Boom. Unfortunately, we missed the elite combine. Being able to talk about it here, great event. 250 kids showed up. Really
Mhm.
showed out. I mean, the level of athletes that were there was just tremendous. You know.
I think it was probably one of the better ones we've had in a
Yep.
long time. A lot of young guys
Yep.
that really put their name out there, right? A lot of guys that really came and ran well, jumped well,
And
threw
that's really
well,
what it
caught
is.
well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really what it is. I think there might have been 10 guys who broad jumped 10 feet or better, right?
Yeah.
And there were a couple 4.4 guys who showed up, and it's a bunch of 4.5. I mean, it was really, really nice athletically.
The broad jump, I think, if you look at the broad jump and the 40, they correlate so
Yep.
well with each other, right? Like usually if you see a guy that runs a fast 40 and the broad jump's not good, then you know that there's probably an issue, right? Like maybe he tripped it early or something
Right.
didn't. But if a guy's 9 foot plus in high school, that's really good. He gets 9.5, 9.8, that's
Mm.
really good. You start getting 10 foot, that's outstanding.
You're up there. Yeah. And shout out to the MVP, overall MVP, Coleman Murchison, who he just really killed it in everything. He had the 4.07 or whatever, pro agility, the 10.2 broad jump, the 5.8 laser 40. I mean, it was just a great performance. The 33-inch vertical. There are a
Mhm.
bunch of guys there, the guys who did it, but you hit on something, and it's that elite combine is usually where guys are having their coming out party, right? A lot of young guys that's their first foray into that kind of an event, a combine, a camp like that where they're tested and they get to find out where they're at. And so there were a bunch of young guys like that who did the thing. Kingston McPike was a 2028 kid, had a really good showing as well. Devin Walker, offensive lineman, the big lineman from Hallsville, who 6'6", 300-pound lineman, just a sophomore. I mean, these were guys who just really showed it, and we really see how that works because you and I were both at the UA Next camp, and we knew all those guys, right? And a good majority of them had come through the elite combine, and here they are going into their senior year or whatever, and boom, they're going out there and they're really showing out.
Yeah, it was a really good camp experience. I think, there was a lot of really good kids from around the region, Iowa, Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois,
Kentucky,
Kansas, Kentucky. I think they did a good job of getting kids from around the region. I think, there were some good testing results. There were some really good one-on-one results as well. I think, it's a good measuring stick for those kids that got invited to see, like, hey, where do I stand up? I mean, truthfully, JP, there's probably some kids that got invited there that saw that they maybe need some work, right?
Yes.
And that maybe weren't at the level, whether it's a receiver, quarterback, O-line, D-line. But for the most part, I would say the vast majority you look at, you're like, oh, this kid, he belongs here, right? And that's it, whether that's the young guys or the old guys.
Mm-hmm. Not a lot of young guys. So if you were a young guy invited to the UA camp, you're
kind of on your way. Yeah. That was fun to see, though. I thought it was a good experience. Unseasonably warm for March.
Wiped me out, man.
Man, it wiped. I think every kid, every coach, everybody was wiped out. I mean, nobody's used to that heat that time of year. I mean, it just goes from being 65 the week before to 95.
Yeah. And the week before that, in the 30s, 40s,
Mm-hmm.
But you would have thought it was Lindenwood camp hot, right? It was.
Yes.
It was all of a sudden it was June 6th, and it's like, man, that sun. So yeah, we were all kind of unprepared for that, but just a great event. Coach Brennan Spain hosted the event at Cardinal Ritter, and all the coaches there did a great job. Great athletes. Liam Davis is the offensive lineman I mentioned that won an MVP award at Elite. So won that, right? And then he gets the invite to UA Next.
Yep.
So
people are watching. I mean, there's not.
Correct.
Look, there's only so many combines and camps that you go to that are, in my opinion, reputable for the perspective of, like, they've got lineage in doing it. They've got the ability to actually do it at scale.
Right.
And then, and I think the thing I like about the UA Next is, like, it's not like some of these ones you go to and it's like, hey, you made it to the next one, and then you come this, and you got to pay us. Like, either
Correct.
you were an MVP or you got invited to their All-Star game, right? All-American game. So, which, nice thing is, like, and I don't know what it was, the cost was for the middle school one, but, like, the high school kids, it was free.
Yeah,
it's free. Like, it's free. They give you shoes, socks,
well
shorts,
sponsored,
T-shirt, but hey, and rightfully so. Like, they don't want you wearing anything from a competing brand. I don't blame them. Like,
right.
Like, the only tough thing is like getting those brand new shoes and then running a 40. But
correct.
The kids did say, like, they were pretty, like, I think Under Armour is smart in the sense that, like, that shoe that they give them is not some big clunky shoe, right? It's a big, it's a lightweight.
Yep.
Yeah, broken in, real nice. Pink and blue. I think the kids liked it. They look pretty damn cool.
They did. They were really cool, and guys did it. But yeah, I mean, it's done well. It's well sponsored. That's how they can have it free. You go there, you get your gear. You get recognition. A lot of guys show up that didn't need to show up. You had Kingston Miles there, who's just picked up an offer from Alabama a couple weeks or a week before that. He didn't need to show up there, right? And a lot of these other guys who have offers, but they showed up because the prestige of it it's really built a reputation. So if you get the invite there, you should feel pretty good about yourself. But it was a really good event, and again, like I said, it was a lot of guys we saw there have come through Elite or were at the Elite Combine the week before.
Mhm.
And the middle school one was well attended and well done as well. And the other thing is obviously, UA Next Camp is well sponsored, so they don't have to charge. But back to Elite, they're parents who I'm consulting and advising, and they're telling me about camps that are $400, $300, $600. It's like what? And what's going on? What do you get from that? Do you get does your kid get like a e-bike?
I mean, here's the thing. We operate camps. Like at the end of the day, you have to pay for your facility. You got to
Mhm.
pay for your talent with the coaches. The shirts are not cheap, right? Like a shirt for combines, $15 to
Quality one.
$25 depending
Yep.
on how you do it. And then, like the issue becomes like, okay, yeah, like you just got to cover your costs. Like it's not something you're going into trying to get rich off of. You're
Right.
doing it for a specific purpose, right? And trying to get it done. And so like even like the one we have coming up with the St. Louis Metro Football Coaches Association,
Hmm.
it's $65, right? Like and you're going to be seen by college coaches.
Right.
And the truth of the matter is, JP, like there are camps that we have kids that go to that are $200 and $300, $400,
Yes.
and they are just not. They're not good camps. Like they're not
No.
like there's and like the other thing is like who's there running the drills? Who's there doing it? Like our guys are employees of our business. This is what we do for a living. We're not doing it as a hobby. We do it because we want to make the game of football better, and we want
Right.
to and push the game forward. And we've been doing it for a lot of years. And so I think when you see people's motives when they're doing these, and a lot of them are like national ones that tour around, and it's not sponsored by anybody. It's just but then they sell the kids on like, well, hey, it's going to have coverage from Prep Red Zone and 24/7 and On Three and all those, and it's like, did it? Like, did
Yeah.
anybody show up? Like I think that's the tough part. Like, is that a lot of these things are not really what they say they are, and it's
Or
tough
they
for the
don't,
kids.
or they don't have value, right? And another one is the KC Varsity Combine that's coming up on May the 16th at Parkway West High School.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be its third year, second year at Parkway West, and of course, Elite is involved with that, and the guys who are going to be out there are the same guys, you and the trainers, the coaches who ran the Elite Combine, right? And then they're going to run the KC Varsity Combine, and then Lindenwood, right? You guys are at there doing the testing and stuff. And I was talking to Jeff Lewandowski from KC Varsity, and he was saying, we don't do it for the money. They do it to help football players, help promote.
Yep.
So they keep the costs down, right? And they have deals where you can do a two for one, kind of a
Yeah.
sale and stuff, and helping kids out. And those are the reputable ones, right? That I can get behind and say, there's Elite, St. Louis Metro football coaches, KC Varsity that are the non-college, they're not Lindenwood putting it on. But yet they will have college coaches there. And KC Varsity on May the 16th, they're going to have a bunch
Yeah.
of college coaches there.
Yep.
And you were there last year, man. They were handing the offers out,
Yep. That's the
because
way it goes.
there was a lot of talent. And you really don't want to go to any camps that don't have college coaches at it at this time of the year.
Yeah, once you get into April, like you want April, May, June. Obviously, they'll be all out in June, but
Mhm.
like the FBS guys can't go out until till June, right? But the
Right.
FCS guys and lower can be at all these camps, depending on when they are. But like the contact period starts April 15th,
Yep.
and so you like all those guys should be coming. Theoretically, the way it should work is they should be coming to your school right throughout the week, and then you can see them at the camp. Hopefully, they get to your school. If it's a school that only has one guy coming into St. Louis, it's probably not going to get to see everybody.
Right.
But if it's like a Lindenwood or those guys that are that are canvassing the entire area, then that works really well. But I think guys like Mobap, those guys are really strong. They're getting out and seeing kids. They're operating at a new level where they're seeing
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of kids, and they're doing a really good job. Not to say that the last crew wasn't, but they're
Right.
doing anytime you get a regime change, like you're going to
Well,
get new,
we're hitting the ground running. Yeah.
yeah, they're hitting the ground running to kind of getting everybody
Be
know who they
aggressive.
are.
Yep.
So yeah, but you want to be at camps, especially in April, May, where there's college coaches, and I think there's so many kids that are getting lied to, and they're being told like, hey, you need to be doing 7-on-7. Like we do 7-on-7, but we do not lie to anybody and tell them that this is a recruiting endeavor. We are trying to get them prepared for the camps and clinics that they're going to be going to this summer, where
Right.
they're going to be able to be seen at mega camps and things like that. But the component is the playing on the weekends is just a small snippet, because we want them training and doing their combine training and all their testing work in here, so that when they show up, they're not blindsided by the process. And I think that's the problem, is there's so many kids, JP, that really believe they are doing what they're supposed to do because they're out of town every weekend, playing 7-on-7. And like that is not the way it works, right?
No.
I will tell you, we did a tournament last weekend. Our 15 you guys were done early in the day, like as it was done. And I came back at the end of the day, and at 3:30, our high school class, I bet there was 8 of our 15U kids were in here training. And I thought, and they didn't get the results this weekend they wanted, but it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, no one's recruiting you off 7-on-7. They're recruiting you off of what? Your vitals, your statistics, and your game film from high school football.
And seeing you in person. Right.
Right.
And you're not gonna find college coaches lining up at the 7-on-7 tournaments. You're just not.
They can't be there.
No, 7-on-7 is great. To keep you busy, right? It's good. It's something positive to do. You're getting skill work, right? You're out there running around. It's keeping you athletic and keep honing your skills and stuff like that. But yeah, it's definitely not a tool. It gives you a little bit of extra film if you don't have any film. But other than that, it's not that. It's not that component. And take it from Matt, because like I said, Matt's been running Boom for how many years now?
Oh, shoot, since 2012.
Yeah. So I mean, so if you wanted to, you could lie and be like, "Hey, come here, because we're going to get you recruited." I've never heard those words come out of your mouth in regards to Boom.
No, it's part of the process, right? And I think, but truthfully, JP, there's a lot of guys that are involved in 7-on-7 that probably don't even understand like actually how it works, but in their mind, they're helping kids, right? And I think that's where it becomes a little frustrating. It's like, yeah, you are helping them by preparing them, but you're not, like, if they're not training and developing, you're screwing them actually.
Right. And besides just the training and developing, you gotta give them a good role model, right? And I know where I'm going, what I'm talking about. You have some coaches who they don't do that. They're bad on the sideline, right? They're doing some stuff that's questionable, a little bit shady
off the field,
off the field, and just during the tournament, and certain players that shouldn't be there and stuff, and just not showing them the proper way. And there are stories. And if you're gonna have your kid be in 7-on-7, you really got to check it out. You really got to see what's going on, because I hear all the stuff. You're letting your son go off on a weekend. You better make sure that they're going with the right people, and people who are going to chaperone it properly.
100%. Like there are a lot of kids gone on the weekend whose parents are not there with them, right?
Correct.
Which we don't do that. We've never done that. Like, it's just not part of like our DNA. We want it to be a family event. Right. Yes, some kids may ride with other kids' families, but they're going out and eating as a group, and they're staying in various hotels around town, but not like there's a lot of liability and doing things like that I just don't want to be involved with it, truthfully. And two, like, what do you like, it's a great opportunity for parents to be with their kids and to work on teaching them things in the car about life and spending time together and all those things. It's not all about football. Right. But I think some of that's lost. And we've heard some horror stories from around the country about things that go on when the parents are gone, and the so-called adults are running the deal with them.
Correct. And you want to teach them how to be good winners, good losers, You know, if you have and you do this, you know, you would love to win every game, right? But you also teach your kids how to play the game properly, how to keep their emotions intact and under control. And you're not on the sidelines screaming and cursing and yelling at kids. And I mean, I hate to see that. It's like, what are you doing? You know, if it's more important to the coach that he's can say, I won this, I won that, then that's not the right person for you or your son.
No, and I it's like I see these posts online from, quote unquote coaches who are, my training's the best, this and that, and I'm teaching these guys to be hardcore, and
Hmm.
I don't, and I don't want to deal with any of the parents. You just let me coach. It's like, what is your background? Who have you produced? Who have you been around? Like, there's so many people that put a shingle out that say that they're doing this, but their shingle is, transient. It's at a field here or a field there. Like, they've never invested any money into actually doing this. It's a hustle. It's a side
Hmm.
hustle. And the truthfully is, if you want your kids to be, not reach their potential, let them do it with someone that's a part-time person that doesn't do this as a vocation, as their job and career and life's work.
Right.
To me, very frustrating. But the truth is, more people will fall victim to that. Like JP, there's a guy last year I saw that he was collecting money from parents to take their kids on visits to get them, game day visits and junior day visits. He was collecting
Mm.
money and
Wow.
never delivered on it, right? Because you and I
Wow.
know, like, you're not just gonna. And he ended up getting turned in and arrested over the deal
Yeah,
because
I would think.
there's
Yeah.
people there's people doing that. Like, I'm not going to promise you that I'm going to get your kid a game day invite, right?
Right.
Can I make a phone call on your kid's behalf and see what they can do? Yes. Will they answer our phone calls? Yes. But the problem is like I'm not in the business of trying to do that. Like I'm not like I want to expose the kids who need to be
Yes.
exposed and let the college make decisions as they see fit for what they're doing.
Correct. And here's the thing, college coaches trust us. That there's the reason why they will listen to us, will they will take our information and go with it because they trust us because we've had the years of experience with it. And I mean, and that's huge, and
Yes.
a lot of people want to do it. It's fun. If you love football, being involved in football is the way to go. But our experience and our reputations really kind of, perceive themselves. And I hate that because you and I are not self promoters. We're not hurting our arms. We're not dislocating our shoulder, patting ourselves on the back with stuff. But
No.
we just find out over time, right? Because people come to us, whether it's with game plan strategies, uh, doing well, parents, and it really kind of shocks me even that people have know and see what I do because I don't do, me, I don't do it to be, hey, look at me, hey, look at me. I know you don't do what you do to, hey, look at me either.
No.
um so it's great to see people come at you and say that to you, and you know and utilize your talents to help them because that's really
Yeah.
what we're doing.
100%. The frustrating thing is, JP, is parents don't know what they don't know, and so what happens
Correct.
is when they're involved in um, uh, hearing it, and they want to go to the flashy things, and kids will be kids. If someone thinks that a kid or someone can help them and go do this a visit or play with my team, I'm going to take you on this visit, or I know
Right.
this and this, like if that's what's making you go there, you're probably being lied to, right? But that person has an ulterior motive versus, hey, let's come, let's work, let's do the best we can, and let
Yep.
the chips fall where they may, and let's increase our odds by doing things the right way, right? Let's increase our
Absolutely.
odds by do. There's no shortcuts, but
No.
unfortunately, that's unfortunately, JP, that's what's going on.
That is what's going on, and like we've said many times before, like you said, you can't give people junior day invites or spring practice invites. I can't
No,
guarantee anybody that cannot guarantee a scholarship. The only person that can guarantee you visits and scholarships is the college coach, right? College coaches themselves. And anybody who says that they can't or says that they're going to do this or is hard selling you on anything, right? you might want to have your antenna up for, if that's the right person for you, because
100%.
that just doesn't happen. And we try to help parents, we try to help players, and that's going to just increase. There's more stuff there's stuff cooking, there's some special stuff I'm working on to try to help expose more kids to and more parents, really, than just kids, to understanding what's going on with the whole process, because that's really the thing. Parents are in the dark, they don't know the process. Like you said, you don't know what you don't know. Lots of questions, not a lot of answers out there. It's really it's really a loaded deck in favor of college coaches when it comes to recruiting.
100%.
You got you can believe what they say, but you know how that goes, right? When somebody's there, because people are selling you, it's a business. And especially now with the transfer portal, harder than ever to get recruited, right? And it's a business, and so you need answers. And so providing that with GPS, more stuff on the way, some exciting stuff coming up. Same thing with Get Offered.
Yep.
It's a tool. Game plan strategies, it's a tool, and it helps you out. So tell people about Get Offered, so before we get out of here, before we run out of
Yeah,
time.
so really the whole platform is designed around helping kids and parents communicate with college coaches. So really the key is, as part of your outreach, is if you're doing all these strategies, you're going to be reaching out to coaches so you can get your game film and your profile to them, right? And so Offered provides a platform so you can go in, build a player resume or profile, and then be able to go in the system and send it directly to college coaches. It'll also help you find colleges that may be of interest based on your criteria, things you're looking to do. But I think that's the toughest thing, is where do you start? Who do you send it to? And the thing is, I found the kids, like if you send them 5 messages, it's got to be 500 messages, right? Like we don't want you, the system's not set up to spam you. I've seen a lot of guys that have created systems that'll let you send 50 messages at a time. To me, it's still got to be organic, still got to be something that's between you and that coach, where you're messaging them and getting your information to them in a personal message type way. You don't want to be a person that just has some, the wrong college name, or the coach wrong name to the wrong email.
Right.
You can't do that stuff. So
you don't want to write them a book or a chain letter.
No, and so it actually, the system actually makes the email really easy for you. It does it for you if it's an intro or a follow up or a junior day follow up, whatever it might be. It helps you, give you a guideline of what you need to say to them, and just add your info, and then you can track and see who's opened it, who's clicked on it, and then what their interest level is, right? And truthfully, a lot of these kids, they're not doing anything at all, right? When you talk to a family, maybe they've done a little bit and they think that that's enough, and then they're dissuaded because no one's responded to them, right?
Right, because they don't know.
But they don't know. Like, you have to do so much more than what you think, right? Like, if you send 100 messages, send 200 messages. You send 200 messages, 300, because eventually someone's going to take some interest in you. But you have to be, the most important thing is, we could talk to her blue in the face about getting exposure. You got to be prepared physically and on the field, right? You got to be able to play. You got to be able to play. Right. Like at some point, you got to have the measurables to be able to play. And so I think that's the biggest issue, JP, is it's a balance. And I think the balance is, take care of yourself, take care of your grades, and then you go to yourself, or you go to Get Offered, and you put yourself out there. Right. But there's no reason to put yourself out there if you're not willing to work and be a college level athlete.
Correct. And so what I do with Game Plan Strategies is I let you know, are you a college level athlete? Are you ready? What do you have to do? What do you need to do to develop yourself as a player? What do you need to do on and off the field? I give you straight answers, right? I give you help, but I give you straight answers because I don't want to waste anybody's time. So you can go to gpsfootball.org, get a free consultation, and I will let you know. I don't mind. I'll take the hit, but what I don't like seeing, and what I've hated seeing, is parents waste time and money, right? Because it's precious, both of those. That's the real wealth, is your time and your child's time. And then if they do have that, I will help you. Or if they want to try that, I will help you. I will help you along that pathway, what you need to do step by step to get to that point. I understand coach speak. I will tell you who's telling you the truth, who's not. I will help you with branding. I will help you with marketing yourself as a player and a prospect. And love what I'm doing. I'm helping a bunch of people. It's really been both successful and exciting so far to be able to help people. Parents love it, and I mean, nothing better than you're helping somebody and they have coaches reaching out to them, right? Or they pick up offers. I mean, that's the greatest feeling in the world to know that you've been able to help somebody like that, because time is money and money is money, and both of them are short, right? And so it's not easy. So you want to make sure that you're doing the right things and the right steps, because as you've seen a lot of parents and players out there just floundering, right? Not knowing what to do. They come to you, they come to me, what can we do? What can we do? And so really between Offered and Game Plan Strategies, I mean, it's perfect working hand in hand to help you get to where you need to go.
100%, JP. I mean, the simple reality is that most people start too late, right?
Yes.
Most parents start too late. And rightfully so. A lot of times they don't realize like their kid is really getting that good at football, or they're taking it that serious.
Right.
But I do see a lot of
time.
And I think they do have time, and they think it's just going to magically happen.
Correct.
And it doesn't work that way.
Not anymore.
Back in the past, maybe it did just kind of organically happen, but that is not the case, right? The system has been squeezed. And so, truthfully, if you don't have the ability to, have someone be truthful with you, tell you that you're, where you should be looking
and what you need to do,
and what you need to do from a preparation standpoint, then you're dead in the water. And I think, because someone else is doing what they need to do, right? Somebody else is being advised. Somebody else is working on the things they need to be working on, and they're going to get that shot, right? And there's a lot of kids I see even at 7-on-7 that are good athletes that have no idea that they're the impending doom of their football future and dream is just pretty much done, right? Like I sit there and watch, like there's certain kids on the field that are athletic that have no idea how to play the game of football. So the problem is you may be athletic, or you get to college and you don't know how to play the game of football, or you don't adapt, or you're not willing to be coached. It's over. Like it is over. So there's a lot of variables. And so you have to make sure from that perspective, JP, that you are fully entrenched in the whole system of not just wanting to get an offer and play college football, but actually be there and set yourself up to be successful and to even have a chance to stick around in college football.
Correct. You have to have a plan. You have to have a strategy, and you have to implement it, right? It's not just I'm the stud athlete at school anymore. I'm going to get recruited, and the really cool thing is there are guys who are right there, right peripherally, who could be that guy, but they don't know. And as you know, high school coaches, everybody's busy, right? So they're not there to handhold anybody or to develop that guy to be what they want to be. That's where we come into play. So yeah, definitely appreciate it. Go to gpsfootball.org, schedule a free consultation, see what we can do for you. That about does it for us, man. We started a little bit late, and so I gotta go. Time flies, fastest football talk on the planet. Where can people reach out and get you and get offered?
If you go to Get Offered, GETOFFRD.com, or in the App Store, if you just type in Offered, it'll pull up football recruiting in the Apple App Store. And then Elite Football on X and Elite Football Academy on Instagram.
Yep. And catch me, JP Rock MO on X, JP Rock Scout U, the letter U on Instagram, gpsfootball.org. You have a question, JP Rock at gpsfootball.org is my email address. You want to reach out to me that way as well. You can catch Football 360 Show on X, YouTube. Go like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your family. Of course, you can catch us, the podcast, audio only on Apple Music as well as Spotify. Check that out. Football360show.com, of course. Everything Football 360 Show. Enjoyed myself as always. KC Varsity Combine is coming up May the 16th, Parkway West. Go to kcvarsitycombine.com. And the St. Louis Metro football coaches, they got a website? Or is it
it's if you go to the elitefootball.net, it's on the main page and you register through there.
There you go. We're back. We're going to be back. We're going to stay here because we're in charge of our own future, which is what you want to do
Yes,
in
sir.
life. Wise information to have right there. Enjoyed ourselves as always. Everybody take care, and we will see you next week.